Zach here. Today I'm going to walk through automating your collection builds for packaging up your Ansible content and sharing it either publicly or internally within your organization. So the first thing you're going to do is add a templated Ansible config in your repository. And the reason for doing this is so that we can inject these secrets at build time to go ahead and publish to the respective Galaxy servers. In my example, I'm going to be using both a private automation hub and public Galaxy. In your use case, you likely will only be pushing to one of the two, right? If you want to share it publicly, you'll push to Galaxy. If you want to keep it internal, you'll push to your private automation hub. But the format remains the same. You would just remove one of these entries from the file. So if I scroll down a little bit, the other part of this process is we're going to leverage semantic versioning. So what that means is, as opposed to me having to update the version in my galaxy.yaml anytime I want to build a new version, what I can do is I can actually have a token here, and I'll leverage the build process, and we're going to do git tagging. So we'll tag commits, and based off of the last tag, we'll know what the new version should be, and we'll process the commit message to know whether or not it should be a major version upgrade, a minor version update, or just a patch version update. So kind of your XYZ format. If you scroll down here, you can see I've got a little bit of information on how this is working. So the way that the script works that updates the version is going to check for the presence of hashtag major or hashtag minor in the message. So imagine this could be a pull request standard that you set up. It could also just be a commit message depending on how you set your workflow to trigger. In my example today, I'm going to actually have the workflow triggered manually. So I'll show what that looks like after making a quick update to the repository. So to open up the code here, you can see one of the things I want to update is I had TV space shows here in a tag, which is actually invalid format. So I'm just going to delete shows. I'm going to have the tag be TV. So I'm going to quickly add that change, commit it, and I'm going to say hashtag minor fixed tag value. And of course, if you're managing a real collection here, this is probably not a minor version update, but I just want to demonstrate how the semantic versioning works. Go ahead and push. Now we can go up into GitHub, and if I refresh this here, we should see, you can see my commit message, so hashtag minor fixed tag value. If I go to actions, I'll be able to see my published collection workflow, and I had a failure earlier, but let's go ahead and try again. So again, you see me here, I just manually triggered that. That's because I used the workflow dispatch trigger. You can always set this up, right, to have that fully automated process where that happens on pull request merge. It could happen on a push to a particular branch or something along those lines. So when this is done, we will have a new tag on the repository, right? So we should go from the previous tag of, if I look at the repo, let's see what tags we have. So here we've got v1.0.2. So what we should have, since we specified hashtag minor, is we should have v1.1.0 when this is done, because it's going to increment the minor version. And then in addition to that, we'll have published it to both public Ansible Galaxy and my private automation hub. Let's come back here, and once that's done, we'll check out the results. All right, so it looks like it's done. Let's go ahead and click into the workflow and see what it did. Go click on publish here, so you can see we installed our Python requirements, which was Ansible. We replaced our tokens for the different Galaxy servers. We tagged the commit, so that was using the script which processes the actual commit message and updates a tag on the repository. We set that new version in our galaxy.yaml file prior to building the collection, because the build collection process consumes the galaxy.yaml. And we then publish to our two different Galaxy servers. So again, if you're only doing one, you just remove one of these steps in the build process. So let's go take a look at Ansible Galaxy. Let's go ahead and refresh here. And voila, we've got, you saw it go from 1.0.2 to now it's at 1.1.0. And we should see the same thing in our private automation hub. Go back here. Oh. And we should see the same thing in our private automation hub. So if you come here, I'm in my ZJ LeBlanc namespace. You'll see that I don't actually have the TeamDB collection. If you have approvals set on, you might have to come to approvals first. And you can see that I actually tried to publish it here. So let me go ahead and approve. I'll approve both of these. So we have that previous version and then our newer version. So now if I go back to my namespaces, I go to search ZJ LeBlanc, click on it. Now I can see my TMDB and I've got my latest version. So I hope you enjoyed kind of taking a look at that process and how simple it is to set up, really. So the meat of the work here is, you have your collection code that's yours. The only thing you need to do is really tokenize that version in your galaxy.yaml file, have a templated ansible.config.publish, which at runtime we replace the ansible.config file. I'm going to inject those tokens. And then in our workflows, we have the steps defined here, which you can take a deeper look at. And then we've got our script here that actually processes the commit message, and then we'll make the tag for you. And the last thing I want to note is if you are doing this for the first time, if you have a new repository, one thing you will want to do is go ahead and just manually create a tag. And the reason for doing that is the script requires a previous tag to exist, right? So if you want it to just be, if you want to start at v0.0.0, just make a tag v0.0.-1, or if you want it to be just start at v0.0.0 and have it start at v0.0.1, that works as well. And the way you do that, there are instructions actually in the blog post itself to get that set up for that initial build. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop a note in the comments and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.